Live from New York. It's a show that's been on a bit of a roller coaster with this Maxx Crosby, Trey Hendrickson news, and there are the trumpets.
Where's our guy? This was our year. This was finally our year.
Oh, jeez. I never like how you use the injured arm to help yourself up.
Wow,
This was gonna be it.
I know. Very good. It's on
Long
wheels,
awaited.
It's a little challenging. There we go. Okay, I feel like it's every 3 weeks I ask you this.
Well, let me ask you. You guys heard the news?
You saw it yesterday.
Yes. Saw the news.
We got Trey Hendrickson! Yeah, baby! You know what? The box!
What, already?
Yeah, I want the box.
What?
Y'all thought Brou was gonna be sad up in here with those beat up glasses on, but no. I am ready, baby.
Okay.
Get all this stuff. Get all this mess off. This is gonna be for Ravens opponents. We got Trey Hendrickson, the sack king of Cincinnati, coming to Baltimore to wreak havoc on his old team. My neck is fine. I think that's fine. I don't know how to get this thing off.
I don't know how to do it.
I'm good.
You got your draft picks?
Little help. I'm ready. Yeah, we got Trey Hendrickson and the draft picks,
And some
which
money.
they are going to use smartly. Brou is back, and obviously, so are the Ravens.
This is fantastic.
I'm
First
excited.
hour of First Things First today. Max is back on the Raiders. Trey's in Baltimore. Brou is enthusiastic. What does this mean for really the entire NFL? Meanwhile, Team USA on the brink of elimination. Bad luck, or did we actually not pay attention to the rules of the tournament?
A lot of evidence.
The manager just says, yeah, sorry about that one. I thought we were through. And finally, a special edition of Free Agency Tears, where Danny took a hold of the committee.
That's right.
Alongside Chris Broussard, who's feeling great. I'm Kevin Wilds. Danny, how was the meeting last night?
Well, I used to be a member of the committee, and then I was kicked off the committee. Well, I think Nick revealed that at one point, maybe on a digital exclusive or something. So it was nice to get back, see my old committee acquaintances, and stay up late and watch the NBA and grind some tears.
We also have Bam's 83-point game, obviously coming up in 10 minutes. A lot of strong opinions on that one.
Bam, I'm with you, man.
All the way?
Congratulations.
We'll discuss in 8 minutes. But
we'll
we're gonna
discuss.
Start in Baltimore, a sack shuffle. Crosby out, Ravens void the deal. They get their picks back. Max is back on the Raiders for now. In his place, trade day. The show's favorite free agent coming over from the Bengals. Brou, it's been a roller coaster. You seem enthusiastic. How happy are you with how this whole saga played out? Because I know it's a little bit of a show, but you were 2 days. Was that earlier? Was that this week?
Yeah, that was Monday's Open.
You debuted. There's going to be sandwich making. All year.
The box made a return on Monday.
Box made a return.
So now Max is
It's
gone
Wednesday.
and Trey is in.
Well, look, I wanted Maxx Crosby. I know Danny and Nick and all the little analytics gurus out there thought, oh, you gave up 2 firsts, that's too much. But I will say I would rather have had this have worked out the original way.
Okay.
Where they gave up the 2 first-round picks.
Okay.
They got Maxx Crosby because he is one of the few guys in the game that wrecks it. And he does. And that's what they need. And I also thought, well, let me say this too. He wasn't just this great pass rusher, or isn't just. He is also a great guy against the run. And that's unusual for a lot of the great edge rushers. He's one of the few that's great in both ways. And I also just thought, and I said this, he embodied what Ravens are about, right? Like his personality, his tough guy image, the rebel, like all that I thought was perfect for the Ravens. So I was distraught when it happened or didn't happen. But I thought Trey Hendrickson and keeping the draft picks was a great consolation prize. Trey actually has, now I don't think he's as good as Crosby, but he does have more sacks than Crosby. Not only in the last 4 years, I think he's got two more of the last 4 years, and that's only playing 7 games last year. But he's got like 14 more over the last 6 years. So he is a sack machine. He's not as good, as versatile with the run and all that stuff, but he's a great consolation prize. You get to keep the draft picks. Maybe they get an offensive lineman. We know they need some interior offensive linemen, maybe somebody else on the defensive line, whatever. But again, I would have preferred Mad Max, but I can live with this. I think they're still contenders.
Fair. Okay, yeah, listen, I have been kept in the dark all day intentionally. I was like, is Brou going to be sad? Is he going to be devastated, happy? And I feel like you've come out somewhere like a reasonable middle of you preferred Crosby, good consolation prize. And they're fourth and fifth in pressures over the last 4 years. In terms of pure pass rushers, they are similar. Crosby's a better player.
Yes.
Right? Like, we put this together just to show it. Like, they are very similar pass rushers, but to your point, Crosby plays all 3 downs. He's much better against the run. Yep. He's a couple of years younger than Hendrickson. Crosby's a better player.
Yep.
But I told you on Monday that I thought it was too much to give up for a 29-year-old coming off of knee surgery. And so the fact that you can get a very comparable pass rusher, and whatever the difference is between Hendrickson and Crosby, one of the best drafting teams in the NFL, your Baltimore Ravens, should be able to make up that difference with the 14th pick in this draft. The last time you had the 14th pick, I believe you took Kyle Hamilton.
Oh.
the best safety in football. Like, if I told you you got a Kyle Hamilton-esque player and Trey Hendrickson, everybody would take that deal. So I do think this is going to end up being a blessing in disguise for the Ravens, and I know we will talk about it more at length later, but man, this is kind of dirty pool. How your team got. Yeah. Do you think if they knew
Did they break a rule?
They technically did not break a rule. They technically did not break a rule because the league year opens.
Because reporters did a great job in getting the scoop.
You traded for a guy.
They didn't break a rule.
The league year opens in 52 minutes, so that's when the trade would have officially been consummated, assuming he passed his physical. But you traded for a guy who was on crutches last week. And you're like, I don't love how the medicals look. He's not playing football tomorrow. He's not playing football for 5 months. So this idea of like, man, we just,
They have reportedly 4 doctors look at him, including one for the Cowboys, and reportedly the Cowboys are still out. Not going after Max. So maybe they saw.
Here's a question. Let's say 24 hours ago. So post Crosby trade is announced, over the weekend.
That is not happening.
No. Crosby is
at this point,
Crosby is a Raven.
Right.
And then let's say Tuesday's lead is Trey Hendrickson signs with the Patriots. So Trey Hendrickson, do you think they flunk him on his physical?
I mean, honestly, I don't know, but I don't.
Like, if the consolation prize wasn't there.
There's reporting out there from Adam Schefter, who we know does a great job, that they were talking to Hendrickson while they thought they were still going to go through with the Crosby deal. So that maybe, which I was like, oh my gosh, would that have been something? Maybe they were trying to team them up together. I don't know. Look, I think it's fair to have questions.
Good.
I do think that's fair.
Because I have a few.
Yeah, but I don't, all I know is that they didn't break a rule.
They did not break a rule.
And that is part of why these leagues maybe need to nail down stuff as far as, the timing of all. Because we know, like when free agency begins, all these deals all of a sudden get done. Teams and players and agents have been talking already. So this is just unfortunately kind of one of the negatives that could happen when the news leaks and then a team changes their mind for whatever reason.
So this is from Diana. It's been made clear by multiple people around the NFL at all levels that Baltimore had all the information and understood where Max's knee was in terms of his recovery timeline. Many in the league believe Eric DeCosta, the GM, and the Ravens ultimately just got cold feet. The other subplot here is they had never traded a first-round pick. So that was the big headline. Wow, the Ravens, who value first-round picks like no other team in their franchise history, decide to give up 2, and maybe that scared them.
But look, let's say, I know we're going to get more in depth about this in the next block, but even if they did, maybe they saw somebody at the combine that impressed them, and we actually could get him at 14. You know what? And I wouldn't recommend doing it this way, but again, you have up until, 4 o'clock today?
I kind of love it.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't recommend doing business that way, but you do have time.
It's like
if the league don't like it, change the rules.
Yeah, it's like the scene in Billy Madison, business ethics. Like, I'm not sure about the ethics of it, but they operated in self-interest.
Maybe. We don't know that for sure.
I think we do.
They may have just seen the not like.
That's on the board.
Right.
Everything is on the up and up is on the board.
Oh, he may be fine this year or later this year, but long term, that knee's not going to hold him. That's some of the talk out there as well.
I've got to interrupt you before we move on to Bam. Friend of the show and former Patriot, Jalen Hawkins, who we had on, has signed with the Baltimore Ravens. Breaking news.
It just keeps getting better.
Unbelievable.
Box! Oh, I already got the box.
I love Jalen Hawkins, and he was great. I wanted him back on the Patriots, but I'm happy that he's still.
I had a little something to do with that.
That's on the board. Head to the NBA, where Bam scored 83 against the Wizards, surpassing Kobe, and only second to Wilt all time. He made 36 free throws against the Wizards. The Heat were fouling late to get extra possessions through, purposely missing free throws. Spo challenging calls up 25. Here's Bam on the accomplishment.
Came into this league as a defender and a lob threat, and I really got emotional. It didn't hit me until I hugged her and then I hugged my mom. It's a pretty emotional moment. Like I said, I wish I could relive it twice. So this is a special moment. It's Wilt, me, then Kobe, which sounds crazy.
Yeah, it does.
How will you remember this performance?
Well, maybe it's just because I'm in a good mood today. I'm not going to rain on Bam Adebayo's parade. Like all these other people and maybe across the table, I will remember this as the defining moment of a very good player's career.
Yep.
He is kind of a perennial all-star, but, he's not that superstar level. But this will make us remember him for decades, all right? And all the haters out there, he did legitimately drop 31 points in the first quarter. 10 for 16, was on fire, 5 for 8 from 3.
Yep.
He did legitimately drop 43 at the half. That's when I wasn't even watching this guy. I was watching the Spurs, Celtics, and when I saw he had 43 at the half, I said, okay, let me put this on as well. And he did legitimately put 62 up in the first 3 quarters, and they were up 16.
I don't think anyone has an issue with the first 3 quarters.
Okay, keep going.
Look, is it his fault? If I'm telling you, and I think this goes for all the guys that have gotten close and then come out. If I'm getting that close, I'm going for it. And I salute Spoelstra and the teammates for having him, having that mentality of, man, let's go for it. And I think what people are upset about, it's not his fault they were fouling him. Now, I will say a few of the calls were kind of, not really fouls, I think. But that's not on him. That's on the referees. If you want to get mad at them, fine. And we know the referees and Eric Spoelstra and the Wizards were not all in cahoots to get Bam Adebayo 83 points. So maybe the officials can be taken to task for a few of those calls. The Wizards, though, At times, they were doubling, triple teaming him to get the ball out of his hands, and then fouls were called, some legit, some real touchy. But I think what everybody's upset about is that it was Kobe, 81. And obviously with Spoelstra, that was the target because he took him out right after he hit the free throws and passed 81. I think Spoelstra should have left him. Maybe if he leaves him in, it was only a minute 16 left. Leaves him in, does he get 87 the way things were going? Can he get to 90, whatever? Maybe then people wouldn't be like, oh, he went right after Kobe. You know, and obviously we understand why people are upset
about
Kobe.
It's like you fell short of Wilt, not just.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe, it wasn't even the record, but it looked like they were targeting that. But look, I love seeing history made. I'll give you this, Danny. Well, first, no, let me say this, because I don't know where you're going to go. But Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game, that was kind of funky too. All right? The other team was fouling Wilt personally because they thought, well, we'd rather him shoot free throws, which he'll miss because he wasn't a great free throw shooter. He was making them that night,
but then he made them.
Right, rather than get a 2-point shot. And his teammates were fouling the opponents, the Knicks, that night to get the ball back to get Wilt 100. So, but I'll say it's probably the least impressive of the ultra high scoring games because Kobe only took 20 free throws. He took an NBA record 43 last night, but he hit 36, career 73% foul shooter, hits 84% last night. So I'm going to congratulate Bam, and good on him.
I agree with a lot of what you said. There are a few key points of disagreement that I'll get to, but I, too, he's got an incredible backstory. He's an all-star. He's a gold medalist. Yep. He's a great defensive player. He's only averaged over 20 a game once in his career. And so for him, he idolized Kobe Bryant. So, it is a cool personal accomplishment. Yes. But how will I remember? Sometimes you remember the record, and sometimes you remember how the player gets the record. And I think, Brou, you and a lot of other sports writers, I just Googled Bam Adebayo this morning. I just Googled it. And this was a sampling. These were 3 of the 5 top headlines that came up. Celebrate it, don't debate it. Stop complaining about it. Of course he was chasing stats, but it's just fine. Everybody knows who watched it that there was something kind of off about that game. Because it made its way into the group chat for me at halftime when he had the 43. So I'm like, Bam's got 43 at half. I was like,
right,
what? Bam has 43 at half? And so my wife was out at dinner with friends. I, too, was watching Wemby against the Celtics, put this game on the second TV. So I watched it. I watched the second half of the game, or the vast majority of the second half, including the close. That fourth quarter.
He was going for it.
But I have no problem with him going for it. And I have no problem with running up the score. But intentionally fouling the other team to get the ball back, you're up 146 to 119 with a minute 40, and you're intentionally fouling. You're intentionally missing free throws at the very end of the game. It's like
a great display of team.
It's not that. You remember when David Robinson had 71 because he wanted the scoring title against Shaq, and it was the last game of the season.
And it happened David Thompson and George Gervin years earlier.
Right, and Gervin's at the game, and he's doing it in front of him, and they're playing the Clippers, and it's game 82, and the Clippers pull all their starters in the first quarter. Everyone's just kind of in on David Robinson's going for it. Okay, he got the scoring title, but we don't talk about 71 as an all-time great scoring performance. When Michael Strahan set the sack record, it's like great season, great player, but how he got the record, little odd. We remember it. So great game, great player, great career. But everybody who watched that game knows that the end of that game wasn't really basketball. And it was a weird way for him to go. It was a 5-point game in the fourth quarter when Kobe got 81.
Oh, yeah.
They were down double digits at half when Kobe got 81. This isn't that.
I will give you that. But here's what I'll say, too. With what we saw, he shot 46%. He was 7 for 22 from 3. he was on fire in the first quarter and then not the rest of the game. Somebody might hit 100.
I agree.
Like, if he had been on fire, and if I'm a player, obviously you never step on the court even trying to get 100 points, right, or thinking that. But if some of these great scorers that are hot from three one night, and you have a first quarter like he had.
Just go for it.
Go for it. I mean, in the context of the game, the win in the game is the most important.
Yeah.
But go for it because,
that's a third of the league.
Again, if he was hot, then he could have come close to 100.
But you need the free throws. You need to score with the. You need
Kobe
to put
hit
points up on
81
the board.
in only 20 free throw attempts.
Yeah.
18 of 20. That's why Kobe.
He didn't hit a
was
ton
more
of
impressive.
threes either.
7 for 13 from three.
Yeah, Kobe took 3 more shots than Bam, but Bam took
Right.
the most free throws in the history of the NBA.
Real quick, Dusty, can we just play?
And
Can we
22
play the
three-pointers.
Ime sound for Brou just to get his quick reaction before we move on to baseball? Because I think a lot of the criticism, it felt like it was from social media. But here was Ime when he was informed about the second record, I'll call it, silver medalist.
Yeah,
Take a
modern
look.
score.
Right.
Yeah.
First thing you think is how, not because of him, but because of the way he plays, And I saw only made 6 threes, but 40 free throws or something like that. Tells the story right there. And the Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
So is that?
But-
does the Wizards part affect?
They're
you
in
at
the
all?
NBA. I mean, sir, Alex Sarr was what? Was he the number one? He was a top pick.
He was a top pick, not number 1, yeah.
It's who actually was starting to impress some people with his size and defense and things like that. So, no, I mean, the Wizards are horrible.
Yeah.
But they are in the NBA. And
Oddly,
you score 83 points against an NBA team. And what he said about the free throws, I don't think that was insulting because he was getting fouled. So if you want to say
They
the
were getting
referees,
called.
take task with the referees because
I think everybody got into it. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you think the referees were thinking, let's get him?
No,
80?
I think subconsciously you can get wrapped up in the moment and have foul calls up 20 points with 2 minutes left. Team USA loses to Italy 8-6. Now in danger of being eliminated, which surprised manager Mark DeRosa, who thought the team had already advanced. Said guys were dragging before the game, Brou, because they had celebrated, and as an added bonus, switched the lineup around, perhaps because he was under the impression that they were already on to the next round. Take a listen to the USA manager pre and post game.
Ton of respect for Italy. It's weird. We want to win. We want to win this game, even though our tickets punched to the quarterfinals because Mexico plays Italy actually tomorrow. So the way the schedule lines up, this is an important game for us.
Yeah, I misspoke. I was on hot stove with a couple buddies today and completely misread the calculations. We knew that Mexico was going to play Italy and then running all the numbers with if we lost tonight with the runs allowed and runs scored and outs. So I just misspoke.
I don't know if you misspoke or not.
You didn't.
All right, so here's the scenario. Italy beats Mexico. Italy wins the pool. USA is the runner-up, okay? So that's plain Jane. Italy wins. If Mexico beats Italy, Mexico advances, and we go to a tiebreaker. So USA advances if Italy gives up 5 or more runs and loses. Still a little confusing. I did have one of those charts that I can refer to during the game. But what was your take on last night's game and our prospects for the future?
Well, listen, last night's game is its own entity because, like I said yesterday, like anyone who's ever covered baseball knows you can hungover or not, lineup or not, you can lose a baseball game.
Yeah.
Right. Like that. So that is its own thing. But this is, I mean, it's not a misspeak. I think he misspoke when he said that he misspoke because he was like,
He just doesn't want to say I screwed up.
Exactly.
he didn't.
But
I didn't know it.
he blew it. Yeah. He didn't understand the rules and the tiebreaker scenarios and what it took to get out of pool play. And evidently, no one else on his coaching staff knew it, and no one else on the roster knew it, and no one else involved in USA baseball knew it. Like, that is wild. I don't want to listen. They'll probably still advance because of the run numbers that they need. They'll probably still advance, but that if you're saying it matters and you're going to try your best and you're going to do everything that you can, that can't happen. You can't happen.
I'm not.
You have to know the
I
rules.
agree that DeRosa didn't know the rules. I don't
And you
know
agree he's
if
the manager.
I don't know if the right. That's his job. So I'm not trying to give him an out. I don't know if the other people didn't know. Do they know he was on that podcast before the game?
Yeah, someone should have flagged it.
Do they may not know. They may have known the rules. Because here's the deal. Whether he didn't know, clearly, whether all those other people didn't know or not, that did not affect. I don't want to hear this, he sat players. This is a team full of all-stars.
Right, but you're playing Goldschmidt against a righty when he doesn't hit righties as well. He can
hit them well enough. We played Bobby Witt Jr., Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, Will Smith, Pete Crow Armstrong. That's good enough to win. And you're absolutely right. Anything can happen in a baseball game. But still, I don't look at this as, he thought we were already in the quarterfinals, so we sent out the second team.
No, that's fair.
We're freaking a team full of all-stars. All I've been
what about
hearing
the
is
partying thing?
I mean, look.
That's not great.
What about the admitted partying late into the night, clubhouse, sloppy the next day, thought they had already advanced, throwing the ball all over the field? Listen, I am not like a prude. I'm not against partying. I have no illusions of what professional athletes are going to do here.
Use party in the Major League Baseball.
Come on. You have to know the rules.
There's
the
no
bare
excuse
minimum.
for him not knowing the rules. Hey, look, if you're Italy, do you put your best foot forward tonight, or do you say, look, the best chance for us to get to the final is to get USA out of here?
I didn't even think about that.
Because they can get smashed as long as Mexico scores 5 or more runs, right?
Yeah, USA advances if Italy gives up 5.
Yes.
So if
Italy gets beat 8-2.
No, if they give up the 5.
Stand by.
They have to. Team USA only advances if Mexico wins.
You have a color-coded
if Mexico scores 4 or fewer runs.
Correct. If Mexico,
which is crazy.
4-3, USA is out. But if 5-4, Mexico wins, Italy's eliminated.
No, you're
it's
right.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
right.
I found this on the internet. Shout out to
I
think it's baseball stats.
So they have to hold
it.
Mexico below.
Yes.
5
you
runs.
need it. You need
5 run differential.
I saw someone in the stands.
I get why Mark DeRosa was a little confused.
Brou, I get why you're confused. Mark DeRosa
he has to know.
Mark DeRosa can't be confused.
To know. Yes.
He can't be confused.
But we
This
cannot
is crazy,
get eliminated. We cannot get eliminated. After USA, we cannot win in hockey and lose in baseball. We just can't. If we don't win the World Cup, hey, you know what? So be it. But if we start losing basketball and baseball, no, there's going to be some
Well, that's actually
moving.
what's starting to
No, it cannot happen. It cannot happen. Thank you for the hockey win. We loved it. It was
great.
That was a great moment.
Unbelievable.
We have to win baseball. Which team should trade for Maxx Crosby, if anybody? That's next on First Things First. Podcast back to number 1 in the world. Our YouTube channel slowly climbing up. We have now overtaken the guys that make stuff, scientists.
Ooh, wow.
And they test stuff in their kitchen. We are now. They're in the rearview mirror.
It's the Parkins boost.
Maxx Crosby had surgery on his knee. Ravens, you would think they knew that. There's a chance they didn't like what they saw. There's a chance they just bailed on the deal. You don't know. I'm not a knee expert. Here's what Cameron Wolf wrote, though, bro. Consensus opinion I've got from NFL decision makers. The Ravens got cold feet, and looking forward, it could impact how other teams work with Baltimore going forward, which I like.
Really?
Well,
okay.
You guys are like the new Patriots, just living on the edge. Greg Jennings
Without
is
the
here.
playoff wins.
That's why Max was perfect.
If you have any issue, you've really taken a villain turn in these first. Like no issue with fouling, no issue with like flunking a guy on a.
This is like you like to use little metaphors and analogies,
love them.
whatever.
Similes.
If I'm right.
Similes are great. They're cool.
Let's say 3 days before a wedding, or the day before a wedding.
I love this.
The bride pulls out. It's messy. It's ugly. Whether she pulled out because she found out he cheated, or because she just was like, I'm not sure if he's the one for me. No matter what the reasoning, it's ugly, it's messy, and you feel for the groom, right? And everything is just, it's bad situation.
Yeah, what do I do with the
That's
presents?
what this
Can I
is.
get my
Yes.
presents back?
Destination wedding.
See, that's what this is.
I love this.
It's
thing.
messy. I get it. I feel for Crosby. I feel for the Raiders because either they're going to bring him back and he's a bit unhappy maybe, or if you trade him, you're not getting 2 firsts. He's diminished goods, at least for the time being. And so I get it, and I get why people are a bit upset. But I don't know. Look, the reporting is all over the place on this, all right? You have 4 doctors look at it. You had concerns about, okay, he might be good for 2 years, 3 years, but long term, maybe not. And we're giving up 2 first-round picks. I think what happened is that they looked at the knee. Maybe they saw a little something that surprised them and gave them a little pause. And I think they probably went back to the Raiders like, let's change this. Instead of 2 firsts, it's a first and a second or whatever. But I think they probably said, let's offer something a little less. The Raiders are like, no, we want the 2 firsts. That's just my speculation from what I see happening. But at the end of the day, they didn't break a rule. And as far as other teams, and I'm done. As far as other teams, if the Ravens have a player they covet, if the Ravens have picks they covet, they're going to do business with them. Maybe the Raiders won't, but other teams will do business with them, and somebody maybe even should be happy that the Ravens did this because they may get Maxx Crosby at a diminished price. Huh? So I don't think, other than the Raiders, I don't think other teams are going to be tripping on them.
Yeah, I'm coming from the player side first. Yeah, I got a problem with the way they did it. Yes, within the rules, I totally get all of that. It is messy, it is ugly. However, when you go after a guy and you say, you know what, we want him and we're willing to put this up for him, knowing what he's gone through, knowing he just got done having a surgery, knowing all the information without obviously being able to evaluate the scans and all of that. But you knew he wasn't going to be able to pass a physical. You knew he wasn't going to be able to perform right away. You knew all of this going in. And to just backtrack, I just feel like from a player perspective, it would be completely, I'm talking about a slandering of the player. If a player was ever able to do something like this and be like, no, I actually don't want to go there. I'm going to fail this physical. And we're starting to speculate, Maxx Crosby actually failed the physical intentionally because he just didn't want to go there. He wants to go somewhere else. We would view it completely differently. Now, I understand it's within the rules, but I truly believe that once they figured out, you know what? We lost Linderbaum. We lost Isaiah Likely. Like, we kind of need these picks. We can actually go and get this other guy for less and keep the picks. And he's going to be motivated.
Yeah, let me see those scans again.
Kind of, yeah. Let's, this doesn't look right, does it?
Call back Dr. Danny.
Yeah, it's like exactly. Bring Dr. Danny in the building. Yes, did they operate within the rules? I totally get that. It's just unfair. The player's mentality. He's put out a podcast thanking the Raider Nation, feeling guilty for not providing them with everything, completely shifting his whole posture, his whole mindset. Like his whole family is getting ready they're buying purple everything. Like this is just not cool.
For him.
It doesn't sound
I would feel for the groom,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, that bride was like, I'm not sure.
I love it. Obviously, none of us know exactly what happened. Only a very few number of people at this point do, and we'll see if we ever get to a place where there is consensus reporting on this. I would just be so much more willing to buy Baltimore's version of this if they didn't sign Trey Hendrickson. Like if Trey Hendrickson was a Patriot or was a Bill or was a Cowboy and they had traded for Crosby and then they were about to announce the trade and they get him in the facility and they do the scan and the evaluation and they're like, oh my God, the meniscus is in worse shape than we thought. We have to bail from this deal. And they had no pivot, and they were just like, I guess we're going to just turn to the 14th pick in the draft to address our pass rush. Then I would buy what Baltimore's selling. But the fact that they were able to immediately, our consolation prize is the best pass rushing free agent who has more sacks and the same number of pressures over the last 4 years, and we keep our picks. And you didn't mention the Madibukwe, their defensive lineman, who the reports are we don't know about his health and his future. Like, were they really going to bring in another defensive lineman with questionable medicals to line up with their defensive tackle with questionable medicals? Like, cold feet is the Occam's razor. Simplest explanation is the correct one here.
But how does Trey, I hear you, but how does them signing Trey change their motive? Like,
because they have a pass rush option that's a fallback.
They knew Trey was out there when they agreed to the deal in the first place. They knew they could have gone after Trey. And maybe, Schefter says they were already talking to him and all that. But I'm just saying, like, let's say it was above board and they really did see something that they were surprised. And I understand why you're saying you doubt it, but let's say they saw something like, oh my gosh, we didn't know it was like that bad. Wouldn't you and pivot and say, let's go after the next best thing? You would do that. So I just don't see how them signing Trey impacts whether it was above board or not.
You called it a great you called it a great consolation prize to lead the show. Yeah. If the consolation prize wasn't available, my gut, call it a hunch. You were speculating around, call it. My gut tells me Maxx Crosby's a Raven. If Trey Hendrickson wasn't available.
To your analogy, Brou, if the wedding breaks up and then all of a sudden the guy looks on his Instagram like, hold on, did you just get married to somebody else?
There might have been another guy.
What in the world? What's been going on this whole time?
You guys just met?
You didn't think that part through.
What the heck? A guy from Cincinnati named Trey?
But it does. Yeah. Okay. We got
to go.
I got to think.
I got to come into that deal. All right. Several teams have contacted the Raiders about Crosby. Lot of questions here. Is the compensation still 2 firsts? Are we 100% positive about the knee, whether it's okay or not okay? His agent, you're not going to believe this, Greg, is very confident. He said he's quoting the surgeon of saying that Crosby remains on track to return during the offseason program, and then these are his words, and will undoubtedly return as the dominant game wrecker he has been these past 7 seasons. Daniel, we'll start with you because we like to have some Bears talk in the show.
Exactly.
Who should go after Crosby now?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is a team that reportedly was interested in Crosby worth bringing up? Is a team that had Maxx Crosby have Caleb Williams on his podcast worth bringing up? Is a
podcast appearances?
He was praising Caleb Williams during the season. And if all of that conjecture isn't enough, take it from the youngest guy on the show to be a little bit of a social media detective. Louis Riddick today posting, yesterday's price is not today's price. It's Louis Riddick. Retweeted by Caleb Williams.
That's
today.
I don't want Caleb
Williams. Little smiley face emoji on the NFL's post about Trey Hendrickson going to Baltimore. Caleb Williams very locked in on this. So, if the Bears were interested for 2 firsts, and now all of a sudden, thanks to the Ravens chicanery, today's price is not yesterday's price. Yeah, bargain shopping for Maxx Crosby. Bring him to Chicago.
You wouldn't give him up wouldn't give up 2 firsts for him now.
No, I would.
You don't have to now.
More than likely. I agree. Well, there's also reporting, right, that the Raiders aren't budging off of that.
And we'll see. But listen, I can be a little.
They shouldn't.
I can be technical on this.
You don't think they should?
No, I don't think you can, because then you add credence to the fact that
they're not
something
getting
wrong.
2 firsts.
I don't think they'll get 2 firsts either. I don't totally believe that he flunked the. Listen, I think he might have flunked the physical if the condition was, could he play football tomorrow? He just had knee surgery. He was on crutches last week. Like, they traded for a guy who had knee surgery. He probably knew the knee wasn't looking great right now. But listen, I told you on Monday I thought that 2 firsts was too much. But there is a difference between the 14th pick and the 25th pick. Like, if the Bears wanted to trade up from 25 to 14, they'd have to give up considerable draft capital to move up that high to get it. So, and this is not just for the show, But I do legitimately believe that my team and your team, if someone is going to trade a first-round pick before April's draft, Bears and Patriots are the two most likely teams to do it.
Greg, this is why I would be shocked, and I think it is a sign of how good your GM is. If Maxx Crosby, and knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but if he ends up getting hurt, and the different knee, it's like, well, the one knee, we knew that there's
no doubt.
There's smoke in the air around this knee, and I think that might be unfair. Again, maybe it's totally fair. As a Patriots fan, I'm like, a little too, and I'm not afraid to take injured players.
That's interesting.
But it's I don't know. If I was a GM, I wouldn't do it. I'd be scared off.
You'd have to be very confident in your job stature and your medical evaluations, and you'd have to be very confident that there's really nothing wrong with his medicals and that Baltimore just got scared.
Greg?
So, guys, every single year there's going to be someone that gets hurt. Let's just say one guy in our league is just going to get hurt.
At least one?
At least one.
In tackle football?
At least one. And let's just say it might be a knee. Might be a knee. And they have to have surgery. All of what we're hearing, all the ifs, and it may not, it possibly couldn't, that applies to everyone.
True.
That applies to everyone.
Wilds is saying it's more, I think, perception. You're absolutely right. He could get hurt on the other knee and it have nothing to do with this injury.
But if you're offering, like if you're saying it was 2, the deal went through with 2 firsts. And if I'm a GM, like, you know what? The price is now 1 first. I obviously am saying that something is wrong.
So I don't necessarily think that it would be them saying that something's wrong, especially how they started to go about their free agency. Like, they started spending money.
Yep.
Because it's like, okay, we got this. We're going to have this one off our books. We can start spending money and allocating for these guys. Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean, obviously Naylor, Linderbaum. Like, we started spending this money. And so if the Patriots come and they say,
oh, you're just in a bad spot. Okay.
We're really not going to give you that. We'll give you something different.
But we'll take it off your books. You guys are in a bad spot.
You're going to start to entertain it.
That's why the Raiders are in a
right.
bad
You're
spot.
going to, if you're the Raiders, you're going to start to entertain it because you were moving forward, not really accounting for this being back on your books.
The Raiders really did get screwed here.
They did.
Yeah, you think? It might be a little awkward with the groom.
But I am with Danny. I think the Bears are going to be a team that's going to be, hey, guys.
Oh, they're calling.
They should.
They're calling.
Next up, the best of the World Baseball Classic. But first, take a listen to the final out, USA versus Italy.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Judge.
Come adesso! Il K di Greg Weissert, l'Italia fa la storia, l'Italia batte gli Stati Uniti al World Baseball Classic.
Wemby had 39 points, 11 rebounds, and a win over the Celtics, who played half the game without Jaylen Brown. Was the most fired up I've ever seen him, Brou. More on that later. Yeah. Spurs win, but did Wemby climb Brou's ballot, and did Jaylen fall? Let's find out in today's episode of Brou's Ballot. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, here we go. Let's get to it. Number 5. No, he did not fall. Jaylen Brown, still number 5. Now, Luka's chasing. Luka is, they beat Minnesota last night. They are now, the Lakers, a half game behind Houston for the 3rd seed. All the hand-wringing, the criticism, some from me, of this Lakers team, they could end up getting in that 3rd spot in the West. But right now, Boston's at number 2 in the East, has a better record than the Lakers. Last night, look, I thought the referees and Jaylen should have kept their cool. I was so upset when he got ejected.
Me too.
Because I was like, I still watched it for the excitement of Wemby and other players.
At that point,
but it was like, I can't read, what this game means, as far as who wins or whatever. So, but anyway, I still got him at number 5. Number 4, Cade Cunningham still holding on. Been a tough couple of weeks. They lost 4 straight. They just won their last game, but they've lost 4 out of 5. And Cade has come down to earth. But he's got to do so much for that team. As great as Jaylen has been, and he has been great. Cade has more on his shoulders carrying this team where there are no other really great offensive players. And he does it defensively as well. And remember, they were a 6 seed last year. He's got them with the best record in the East, so Cade's still at number 4. Here's where the changes come in. Number 3, Nikola Jokic.
Wow, down to 3.
They are 7-10 since he came back from the knee injury on January 30th. 7-10, and his numbers have dropped. In February, he only shot, now look, it's by his standards, but in February, he only shot 46% from the field, which is incredibly low for him, 31% from 3, even was only 72% from the free throw line. So not sure what was going on with him, but he wasn't playing as well, and the team obviously was losing. They are only a game ahead of Phoenix, which is the 7th seed. So if they fall into the play-in, now I will say this, if Jokic had never won or never averaged a triple-double, which he did a year ago, or if Russell Westbrook even had not averaged a triple-double and it was still just Oscar, even as the 6th seed, he might be the MVP. Because we would just be like, we would be like, nobody's done the triple-double since Oscar. But he has already done, so I got him at 3. And number 2, Wemby.
Oh, wow.
He's moved up.
Impressed.
I mean, look, they've won 16 of their last 17. They are 8-1 against Detroit, Boston, and OKC, the top 4 teams, in the league right now as far as seeding. And, of course, he's just getting it done. Last night, the 8 threes.
He took 15. Yeah. That was a wild
But you hit
watch.
8. Think about that.
No,
You're a mathematics guy. 8 out of 15.
Better than 50%.
You'll take it.
I felt like
Absolutely.
the Celtics were okay with it. Like like that was
But
the
he
rules.
is a legitimately good three-point shooter.
Yes.
And I want him down low more. There was one play he posted up Luka Garza and just turned and you're like,
do that
you could do that every possession.
Tatum was guarding him sometimes.
Yeah, so I get it. I want to see him closer to the basket a lot. But he is a very good, I even think he's better than his 36% three-point percentage shows. And then, of course, at number 1, SGA just had the fantastic game against Denver. Remember, his second best player, as Danny's noted, Jalen Williams has missed 40 games this year. They still got the best record in the league. But I think, Danny, at least the way I'm kind of thinking right now, it may come down to who's that number 1 seed in the West. If the Spurs pass OKC, it's going to be hard not to give it to Wemby.
Listen, it's your ballot. It's a totally reasonable way to do it. The youth of Wemby, the guys that are out on the Thunder, it's a very, very close case. But obviously Wemby's defense, it's a good ballot.
NFL tiers and more on the Ravens, Maxx Crosby and Trey Hendrickson. Show fave next on First and First.
Chargers atop my tiers.
Not surprised we don't have a little SGA fatigue. Live from New York, it's a show that's changing the rules of basketball.
Yeah, no.
Not
just want to decline fouls is my. I've been on that
All
for a
this
while.
because of an 83
I have
game
been.
we may probably never see again.
That is a coincidence. It is really for largely bedtimes. Where the last 20 minutes of it, or last 2 minutes of the game takes 20 minutes. Fouls, this, that.
We talked about it, Brou, off air with the game we said game of the year, the Thunder Nuggets game, even the game of the year.
Well, that was because
way
of
too many reviews.
Video reviews.
Yeah, but all of it. All of it.
I'm going to write some stuff up and email it. Second hour of First Things First. Today, Maxx Crosby no longer a Raven. Trey Hendrickson is. Where could we see Max end up for week 1? Meanwhile,
let's go!
Scoreboard watching, the scenario where Mexico wins, Italy loses, but it's low scoring, and U.S. baseball is done.
Unbelievable.
Not feeling. This would be
not great.
I don't think we should have been the heavy favorites.
It's pitching.
But know the
Japan,
rules.
the DR.
We're not even
the
gonna
DR's just as stacked.
We're not even
as
going to get a chance to play.
Back to the drawing board.
Let me get you caught up to speed. Last night, while rooting for Pete Crow Armstrong, who then hit 2 home runs, great call by you, an elite committee of Chicago-based experts, analysts, and Justin Herbert truthers fought and toiled and burned the midnight oil to deliver the best segment in all of sports. It's an honor and a privilege. Was Nick in the committee in absentia? Did he
Time zone issues were a little complicated.
Fair.
He had a lot of sake, so his contributions were complicated, to say the least.
Time for NFL tears.
It is time for NFL tears. I take this responsibility very seriously. We can get right to it. I was debating eliminating teams right off the bat, but it didn't feel right. So we just began at the bottom with no hope. With the Jets, the Browns, and the Cardinals. There's a piece here or there on all of these teams that you like, but there is no reasonable way that you could see the Browns in the AFC North, the Jets in the AFC East, or the Cardinals in the AFC West making any real moves at this point. I know you love Geno.
I'm just shocked at the shot you just took at Geno. Yesterday you defended him.
I think he's better than he was with the Raiders. I still don't think they're going to do anything this year with the Jets. We move up the tier rankings with the soft tank. You don't see the soft tank very often.
You love this soft tank.
I love the soft tank. I would have gone for the full-blown tank and taken the full $99 million dead cap hit this year and just lock yourself in to Arch Manning. But all the talent leaving. You've got a coach with job security, hasn't coached a game. You got a GM with job security, hasn't coached a game. You sign Malik Willis, but you're going to have no talent around him. You're going to be plenty bad. And you're bad by design, but at least I can squint and see what they're doing there in Miami. Unlike this next grouping of teams, what are we doing? The Titans, the Colts, and the Steelers. The Steelers are apparently just committed to 9 wins, maybe 10,
Still.
and a first-round playoff exit while talking about the 7th trophy. Doesn't make any sense. The Titans, okay, you're hoping on Cam Ward, but in free agency you brought in 5 players who had played for either Robert Saleh or Brian Dable. Seemed a little excessive. And the Colts, you chose a path. There was a fork in the road moment, and you went down it with Daniel Jones, and then you traded for Sauce Gardner, and then he got hurt, and now you've paid Alec Pierce nearly $30 million a year. Not quite sure what you're doing. I'm not sure if this has ever happened in the history of the tiers, but the committee felt the only way to group this next teams together was by their division, the NFC South. Listen, if you want to say that the Panthers, because they made the playoffs and they signed Jalen Phillips as the class of the NFC South, fine. If you want to say that the Bucs with Baker Mayfield should separate, fine. If you want to say that Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta with Tua, okay. Maybe you're a Tyler Shuck truther. 3 teams in this division went 8-9. And then there was the Saints who were only 2 wins behind him. They're all the same. They're the NFC South. The next grouping of teams, one NFC, one AFC. Sneaky upside for Washington and Vegas. For Washington, it's, can Jaden Daniels just come back and was it all injuries? Was it a one-off and he's going to be fine and the skinny frame and the NFL figuring him out? Is that all nonsense for negative people like me? Or is he going to just pick up where he was as a rookie, which was the best rookie season I'd ever seen? And in Vegas, I can't really believe it. Maxx Crosby news complicates it a bit. We'll see what they end up doing. But you like 3 offensive linemen you have. You like 2 or 3 of the weapons that you have. You like your quarterback. You like your coach. Put it all together, maybe a little bit of sneaky upside in Vegas. This next grouping of teams, committee wasn't sure how the fan bases would feel about these characterizations. But you've got half a team. The Bengals have an offense, but no defense. The Cowboys also have an offense, but no defense. If we could put an all-Texas team together, and we could have the Cowboys offense with the Texans defense, they'd go 20-0 and be the champs. But these teams are very talented at their area of expertise, but ultimately a lower ceiling because of the huge weakness that they have on the other side of the ball. This next pair of teams, it's a fun exercise that we do every offseason. Who can go worst to first? So you look at the 8 teams that finished in last place, and I think there really are only 2 candidates this year. Because some of the teams that were in last place in their division are just so bad or their division is so good, it's pretty much impossible to see them coming out. But could the Lions win a very tough NFC North with the talent that they have on both sides of the ball, their competent coaching, and their pedigree? Of course. Could if the Eagles have some problems, Jackson Dart hits, Neighbors healthy, the additions they made, the upgraded coach. Could the Giants be worst to first? If you're picking a worst to first team, my guess is no NFL analyst anywhere will pick anyone else other than those two teams. The next team stands alone as the best 6-win team ever in terms of how we will talk about them. We will talk about this team on pedigree, on AFC championships, on Super Bowls, and on coach and quarterback reputation. And even if I say, what about the secondary? What about the pass rush? What about wide receiver 1? What are you going to do to replace your tackle position? It's still a pretty fair point to be like, do we have Patrick Mahomes in our prime? Is he healthy? Yeah. So they're a hard team to slot based on the roster questions and based on what we saw this year. But all offseason, we're going to talk about them as being way better than a 6-win team. This next group was very fun to put together because they could win it or they could miss it. I could legitimately right now see the Niners, Packers, Eagles, and yes, Minnesota Vikings winning it all.
Wow.
Winning it all.
Minnesota?
Hey, they could have the best defense in football, and if they get Kyler, which I think they're going to get, and they get back to being a top 10 offense, they were 9th 2 years ago with Sam Darnold, they won 14 games. Wow. So we're a year removed from them being a 14-win team, and their coaching staff is still intact. We know what the Eagles lost, but we know the talent that they still have. I cannot deny what the Packers looked like when Micah Parsons was healthy and Jordan Love was not turning the ball over. Obviously, an incredibly high ceiling group there. And the Niners, this is a huge if, but if they stay healthy, they are as talented as basically anyone. And the only reason they're out, you can bet them right now 19-1 to win the Super Bowl. That's only because they're picked to finish 3rd in their own division. They'd be the favorite in a couple other divisions in the NFL. And this one shocked me, but there was really only one way to describe this next team. As our team. We're a Charger show, boys.
We just like Mike McDaniel.
You said it. You like Mike McDaniel? What team does he call plays for?
We like him. We like him.
What team does he call plays for?
We need to see Justin Herbert do a little something.
Chargers. We're a Chargers show. I don't know if it's the greatest strategy with the size of the fan base, but I'm with you, Chargers fans. And in fact, we all are. Brou likes him, Wilds like him, I like him. We'll talk about Nick when he gets back from Japan. They're our team. This next grouping of teams, it pains me, but a lot of people, a lot of voices in the committee. We got to be fair. These are regression candidates. My Bears, your Patriots, the Broncos, and the Jaguars.
Jags seem to be doing it on purpose.
Yeah, Jaguars with some of the actual losses, the Broncos with the 1-score wins, the Bears with the comebacks and the health on the offensive line, and the Patriots because of the schedule difficulty.
Fair.
Like, we are going to talk about all of these teams as contenders, but there will be totally fair cases to make for all of them that these teams are going to regress. As we sit here post-free agency, this team deserved to stand alone as the champs. I mean, they expected to lose Kenneth Walker. They expected to lose Kobe Bryant, the safety. They expected to lose Rashid Shaheed. Everything that's happened this offseason, they knew they were losing Clint Kubiak when the Super Bowl was happening. So everything that's happened to the champs so far was expected. They're going to bring back the vast majority of their talent. They're right there. And then at the top, Brou, I hope you don't mind. S-Bob. It's a 3-pack.
Oh.
Of the Rams, Bills, and Ravens. The Bills with the DJ Moore trade, the Ravens with the bad business ethics. Oh my gosh.
Can't even say it.
Can't even say it. I'm so embarrassed for their actions. With Crosby and then pivoting to Trey Hendrickson, and the Rams rebuilding their Super Bowl on the fly to try to maximize a 38-year-old MVP quarterback. They are S-Bob. On behalf of the committee, those are the perfect tiers.
It's a rough go.
Well,
A rough go.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What'd I do?
I kind of feel that way too a little bit. I always, the titles are great, very fitting, but I don't see the titles. I see teams.
Yeah.
I see teams and I see left to right.
Oh, you see left to right.
I see left to right. And I'm actually going to jump down to half a team. The half a team are. And I'm going to go right there in the middle with that star, the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to move them up.
Nice.
Wow.
I know we talk about what they haven't done and what they need to do, but they are doing something. It may not be as attractive as Maxx Crosby and Trey Hendrickson and all the flashy names, but they are doing something and they have done things even prior to ending the season last year to improve that defense that we are calling half a team, because we know their offense is awesome. Their offense is great.
Great.
But that defense improved, and the numbers support that. Like when Quinnen Williams was added to this defense, they were giving up 140 plus yards on the ground for every opponent that they played. I mean, it was bottom 3. Couldn't get off the field on third down. Then you get this big middle run stopper and someone who can get after the passer, and it drops drastically. That number of 105 yards for an opponent rushing yards per game, if they were to sustain that for the entire year last year, that would have been top 10. Right behind the Chiefs. That would have been top 10. And 40% on third down, they improved. Now, mind you, they add Rashawn Gary. They're doing this by committee. I'm starting to see the vision. Doesn't mean I'm subscribing to the idea of what the vision is, but I kind of see the vision.
Does sound like it.
You get a safety in Jalen Thompson, like from the Cardinals, like you start to plug in these pieces and you start to figure out, man, we got a young DC and Christian Parker that we really like. We're gonna lean into who he is and allow him to orchestrate this defense and see what he can turn this defense into. And if they improve like they improved for those last 8 games, this is a team that we will be talking about, not just because of what they're not doing, but because of what they are doing and what they look like as a total team, not a half a team.
Okay. Talk to me after the draft. What they do.
I agree with Greg on the titles are top notch.
Thank you.
And some of them, it looks like the titles are great, but they should be lower. Like, so I'm just looking at it as where the teams are ranked in terms of the ladder or whatever. So while I agree with Greg, my point of contention and why I'm really disappointed, Danny, is because I see an ulterior motive.
You do.
Yeah, you're trying not to put pressure on the Chargers and really on Justin Herbert. You're trying to keep the expectations low because he's your boy and you don't want him falling short of expectations. Because you talk all this mess about the Chargers, how great Justin Herbert, despite what we see in the playoffs, is still a top 5 quarterback. And yet, how many teams are above them?
It looks like
8?
Looks like 8 teams.
8?
Yeah.
And one of them's in their division? So I'm saying the Chargers should move up ahead of the Broncos and the Jaguars. You said the Jaguars are trying to lose, you thought. And you got the Chargers who you love below them? Here's the deal.
You trying to steal the Chargers from me? Is that what's happening?
I'm just keeping it real. Wherever it goes, wherever the Chargers decide to come, it is what it is. If they decide to come over to Brou's corner, so be it. All right? But they are getting back Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt.
Oh, my gosh.
You talked about Joe Alt like he was the best lineman we've seen in 50 years last season. All right? Those two will be back. Mike McDaniel, the offensive genius, with this cannon arm Justin Herbert, who's better than all the numbers and his production suggests, according to you. All right? And the defense ain't going to fall. As much as I like Jesse Minter, Jim Harbaugh does not have bad defenses. Not in San Francisco, not with the Chargers. Always a top 10 defense, no matter who his DC is. So the Chargers, I think, are the best team in that division. But apparently, Mr. Charger over there doesn't see it that way.
Unbelievable. What a play.
No wonder you support how the Ravens do business. That was dirty, Brou. I'm a Herbert guy. You can be a Chargers guy.
Are you?
I'm a Herbert guy. I'm a Herbert guy.
Okay.
You can be a Chargers guy. I'm the Herbert guy. That hurt a little bit. I got to
Let that be a lesson.
That hurt.
You hear about it a lot. You hear about it in business. You hear about it in your personal life, too. Keep the main thing the main thing. What's your main thing? Your health? Keep it the main thing. Your marriage? Keep it the main thing. Don't go looking all over the place. You're upstairs. Oh, let me dig in on what the Panthers are doing for tiers last night. Oh, let me dig in on what the Bucks are up to. What's Brou doing? Chargers, right at you.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you've been messing around.
Yeah.
Gone.
I'm staggered.
Gone.
The Chargers fans
They're gonna
know.
be sending me flowers.
I'm just saying, but it was an aggressive.
It was an aggressive
hostile
move.
takeover.
It was a hostile. Yeah, I agree.
I am moving the Texans. I don't even know. Way up. Way up. The tiers have a certain logicalness to them.
Thank you.
Right? The Seahawks beat the Patriots, they're above the Patriots.
Yeah.
The Rams beat the Bears, the Rams are above the Bears, but it gets a little bit of progression. The Texans not only beat the Bills, they crushed the Bills. Oh, it was close at the end when you actually look at the analytics graphs. It was not close. It was not. It was one of Josh Allen's worst games of all time.
Okay.
Courtesy of the Texans. As far as half a team goes, and I'll entertain it. If you're gonna have half a team, you want half a defensive team. Largely because I just saw that team basically win the Super Bowl. JSN is great. Sam Darnold's pretty good, but that was a defensive team. That's why I coined defense wins championships and also got rich off of it. Covered up my Patriots' losses. Here's their ranks. Second in point. I mean, we know this was a great team. They went into the Patriots game on a 10-game winning streak, just crushing teams. And then the Drake May threw 3 touchdowns against defense. All of a sudden, they were no good. All of a sudden, it's like, I don't know, they're better than the Bucs defense? And, yes, they were. They didn't make a ton of moves so far. Danielle Hunter, they signed him to a huge deal, which he deserved. Reed Blankenship coming over from the Eagles is nice. The move I think they need to make, Greg, is that wide receiver because, as you know, I'm a C.J. Stroud guy. For a while, that was a crowded corner.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, people started like, hey, I'm going to take off. I'm like, I'm still here. Nico's going to be back. I think Tank Dell is going to be back. Hopefully, I'm rooting for him. But it feels like we need to add someone else to that receiver room. Brandon Ayuk now is a free agent. I don't know if he's interested in playing football anymore. Stephon going back to Houston. Do you draft a guy? But I do think that CJ needs some more weapons there. I know you're a CJ Stroud, let's say non-believer, because he reminded Caleb how to play better football, and all of a sudden Caleb started playing better football, but it's C.J. Stroud's fault.
I mean, that and over half of his games have been bad. Yeah, those 2 factors.
He's been in the playoffs every year. And now he's been in the playoffs, he's won a playoff game.
Yeah.
No, beating Joe Flacco at home was impressive. That was an impressive playoff win. I'm just saying.
That was an impressive win. It was.
When beating Joe Flacco and Justin
Flacco
Herbert
had
was turning
been
the ball
cooking.
over.
Flacco had been.
He beat the Browns.
He had on a late run to get him in the playoffs. Yes.
Okay. Listen,
I think that was Browns. That was Joe Flacco.
You can have your multiple homes on Tua Island and C.J. Stroud's corner. That's fine.
We left your Bears alone. We didn't even.
Honestly, I did that for show chemistry.
We left your Bears alone.
I go hard at the Bears.
How was that game?
Tomorrow, right here on Fox and FS1, it's the Big East tournament.
I love the Big East tournament, man.
You're gonna be there, right?
I'll be there for the semis and the finals. Been going to the Big East tournament since college, and then afterwards, I've probably been 8 or 9 times.
It's a lot of
I love it.
It really is.
Can't wait.
That's tomorrow right here on Fox and FS1. Got UConn going. Ravens say goodbye to Maxx Crosby, hello to Trey Hendrickson, and welcome back to their 2 first-round picks. Last 4 seasons, Crosby and Hendrickson, Brou, largely comparable. I'd say Maxx Crosby's obviously a little bit better. Are the Ravens in a better spot now?
I would have preferred the original trade went through. We're all assuming, I believe, for the sake of conversation, that Maxx Crosby is what we've seen, right? Like he's going to come back as that Maxx Crosby. I would have rather have him, all right, and give up the 2 picks. I felt like the Ravens are one of the few teams in the league who could afford to give up 2 first-round picks because they're obviously it's win now. No matter what, we got to win the Super Bowl this year. So I thought it was worth getting Crosby. And while Trey can give you the sack numbers that Crosby can, Crosby is like a very good run defender too. So he's not just a specialist and a pass rusher. And I just, you got to make the picks hit. And they are a good drafting team, so maybe hopefully they'll make that 14th pick will be a guy that can help them. But I would have rather have Crosby. I also felt, Greg, like he just seems to fit the Ravens' personality and what he's about and all of that. But like I said earlier, great consolation prize. I really was despondent when the trade looked like it wasn't going through. And then when they get Trey Hendrickson at a good price for it's less than Jalen Phillips got, and obviously less than Danielle Hunter got, much less. And they keep the picks. Mainly I'm talking about this year's pick, but, next year's too. So hopefully with that 14th pick, they can get an interior offensive lineman, or maybe it's a defensive lineman, but somebody to help them in an area of need. So I'm happy with where they are, but I think they would have been better off if they had been able to get Crosby.
So, again, you guys know how I feel about how it went down, but I can separate the two. This is better for the Ravens. Like, this is just – it makes sense. You don't have to pay your pass rusher as much as you were going to have to pay Maxx Crosby. You retain your picks. You can now go on that other side of the ball. You lost a center. You lost a backup tight end. You can start to put pieces – in front of Lamar Jackson that he needs and outside of Lamar Jackson that he needs if you desire, and possibly even add to your defensive line interior because of Matabukwe. You mentioned that earlier. So it makes sense for the Ravens how it panned out. I don't like how it happened, but this makes more business sense, which is why I believe they pulled out of that deal and said, guys, let's do this. And I think by even waiting a little longer, you probably got a Trey Hendrickson who thought he was going to get more from someone that was sitting there waiting, and then that number just continued to dwindle down. And so then now he's like, well, I'll sign for that, whatever that is. So I think this is better for the Ravens.
Yeah, I think they got lucky. I think. And maybe, I know they did it intentionally in terms of the physical and all that, and they had the plan for Hendrickson. You called it a consolation prize, and for that purposes of this, that characterization works. I thought it was an overpay for Crosby. I said that on the front end of the trade, that we had not seen 2 first-round picks go for a 29-year-old player. Like we've seen it for quarterbacks, but in terms of non-quarterbacks, offensive linemen, like the Laramie Tunsil deal, the Sauce Gardner deal, Khalil Mack, Micah Parsons, like it had always been 25, 26-year-old guys. This is a 29-year-old coming off of a knee injury. And the first-round pick that you were giving up wasn't the 30th pick in the draft. It was 14. For the Ravens, that's a premium pick. Last time they picked 14th, they took Kyle Hamilton, best safety in football. Like, you have to believe that because of the other holes you have on the team, and if you do believe that Lamar has a long prime left in front of him.
Oh, no.
What?
I don't want to hear long prime.
You're talking non-SBOB language.
Yes.
What I'm saying
it's
is
prudent, but it's hard to make a hype video of like Ravens 2026, the most prudent team in the NFL. We've got a long window, and this positions us better to always be in the mix.
Okay.
Not going like the Maxx Crosby deal did feel somewhat reckless.
Yes.
But like, I'm going for it.
Yeah, I was with it.
We're going for it. So this is like Ravens have opened up $70 million in cap space ahead of the new league year. If they spend that like aggressively right now, love it. But if it's more like, great news, we got a 3rd round pick in 2028. I would not feel great as a friend of a Ravens supporter.
I'm his friend too. The Rams, what they did for McDuffie made sense.
Yes.
They have a 38-year-old quarterback. If you're telling me that Lamar's going to be that guy for the next 6 years, then trading 2 first-round picks for another 29-year-old with a knee injury is reckless, as opposed to pay Hendrickson for a couple of years, and then hopefully you've hit on these picks and you're ready to pay those guys too. Like, this is a blessing in disguise for Baltimore.
It's really just 2 different philosophies. And the Rams, they still moved picks to get guys a few years ago when they felt like Stafford had several years left. And they got the Super Bowl when they got traded for Jalen Ramsey and all that stuff.
But the Ravens build their team through the draft.
And I think draft picks are obviously valuable. I am not trying to understate the importance of draft picks.
Sure.
However, I do think in all the sports, particularly football and basketball, draft picks also are like they give a front office time because they sell hope. All right, your team might be terrible, but if we got a bunch of picks, we can sell hope. Oh, but we're gonna be good because we got all these picks. And for some teams, it'll work out. But even for the best teams, we can run down a list of top picks that have not panned out. So that 14th pick, it's nice that, again, consolation prize. I'm glad they have it with Trey Hendrickson. But I'm under no delusion that they're going to get some future star with that. They might, and I hope they do. But they also might get a bust.
Quick game of hypotheticals. If Lamar Jackson went on his Instagram and said, you know what, I've made a lot of money. I'm going to go to Florida and set up a charity, and that's going to be like my main thing. This is my last year of football. And you're the GM of the Ravens, and you saw that, you're like, oh, this is now we're in a Stafford situation.
Yeah.
Where we don't know this is it. Do you make this move, or all of a sudden is Maxx Crosby's knee look a lot better on those scans?
I think absolutely. I think you'd go in for Crosby. You would take the risk.
That's what I don't like. I don't like that they're always kind of, I don't know. I like teams that go all in. Go all in for Lamar. Like the clock is ticking. I like the urgency of the Maxx Crosby deal, and then it was like cooler heads prevail.
Yeah, We've
never traded a first-round pick.
Crosby is 29 years old, coming off of a knee injury. That's a lot to give up for a player with that risk. It is. That hypothetical would change things fundamentally on the ground.
There is the something they may have seen that gave them pause. He might not be the player that he was.
They traded for a guy coming off knee surgery.
As for Maxx Crosby, Diana Rossini says he's back at the Raiders facility, continuing his rehab. That's good. He also said he wanted to be out, Greg. Do you think he's on the Raiders week 1?
I think there's a strong possibility that he is on the Raiders, because if they're unwilling to move off of what they are trying to acquire for Maxx Crosby, then there's a very strong possibility that he's going to be retained as a Raider. I love the way Maxx Crosby is going about it. Like business as usual. I got to rehab my knee. I'm going to the facility. Yeah. I got to work with the staff, the trainers. They know my situation. I'm going to be the best. Like he's not like settling and soaking and moping around. Like he is going about his offseason the way he should and he needs to. I just don't think there's a team that's going to say, you know what? We got these 2 first-round picks for you.
It doesn't have to be that.
It may not have to be that. But if they are not going to budge, right. if they hold on to their firm and they stand still and say we're not budging off these 2 first-round picks, Maxx Crosby will be in a black and silver uniform.
He will not be. I will be floored if he plays another game for the Raiders.
Even if they don't budge.
But they're saying they're not going to budge.
They're going to budge.
Yeah, of course. They're saying they're going to budge. On March 11th, they're not going to budge because of they're trying to save face. They're trying to salvage a 100%. Horribly awkward situation. Maxx Crosby was furious at the Raiders at the end of last year because they shut him down for a knee surgery that he was playing through and thought he should have continued to play through, and they shut him down to try to preserve his trade value. Then they traded him away for historic trade value for a 29-year-old player, and then the Ravens backed out of it. You can't unring that bell. He will be there for a while, is my guess, and then they will release some video of him doing the 3-cone drill or running around, doing a workout, and a team now post-draft will say, oh my God, we can now get Maxx Crosby for a future first-round pick instead of a pick in this year's draft.
Future first-round pick is interesting.
And so to me, this trade now is more likely to happen in like June, July, or August than it's likely to happen in the next 48 hours.
I'm more with Greg. I think we always sit here and say, oh, he's in the facility now.
Well, they have a nice workout facility.
If the blood was that bad between them,
he would not be in that building.
He doesn't have to go there to work out. And look, they have done some things that look like the future could be bright. And so maybe that will get him a little motivated. Like, look, if the quarterback ends up being good, they made some moves that we could be a better team. I mean, I could see him. Now, I'm saying if they don't budge. I agree. If they decide to drop the price, then I think he'll be traded. But if they won't budge, look, Lamar demanded a trade from Baltimore. Now he's about to become the highest paid quarterback ever.
They've got egg on their face that they've got taken for a ride and through the most optimistic lens, outfoxed by the Ravens. But Maxx Crosby's timeline is not Fernando Mendoza's timeline.
Correct.
So I would if the Bears are offering a late first round or later first round pick, future first round pick, is it a 1 in a 3? Like, what do you see it being?
Listen, without knowing the medicals, it's impossible to guess. But yeah, if you traded Maxx Crosby if the price yesterday was 2 1s and tomorrow it's a 1 and a 3, you make that deal.
Of course. Again, if they drop it,
it's tough.
It's just embarrassing.
But what is his value next year? Less than that. Like you got.
Well, if he comes out and has a great year.
But he's a year older.
Tomorrow, Brou is out. So Danny Parkins, hostile takeover of all the segments on the show.
I'm available.
It's the
dud list. Danny's under duress list.
Last time the tagline was,
it doesn't sound motivational.
Tonight, Mexico versus Italy. Italy defeating the United States yesterday. Some members of the U.S., including the manager, thought that the team was on to the quarterfinals. Not true. Here's the scenario the Team USA is facing. USA advances if Italy wins, nice and easy. Or if Mexico scores 5 or more runs and wins.
Right. So a low-scoring Mexico win is disaster scenario.
We're out
for Team USA.
So
out of our hands.
If we're out, what would that mean?
I mean, it would just be it'd be an embarrassment because of the rules situation yesterday. Because of being the favorites, because of only having won it once, like it would be a real egg on the face moment for Team USA. They'd have to really think about things.
And look, Italy is allowing 3 runs a game in this tournament. So the games, a lot of them have been high scoring. You would think they're going to get more than 5, but Italy's been playing good defense.
I don't know how my rooting interests play in this game. I will be rooting for Italy to win.
You're rooting for runs.
I'm just rooting for runs.
You're just rooting for a high-scoring game.
I just need runs. I just need offense.
High-scoring game.
Yeah,
you're rooting for
Mexico wins scoring 5 or more.
High-scoring game.
Or Italy just to win.
Or Italy win. I just want to see a bunch of runs.
Runs scored is good.
I don't even know. The uniform's getting across play. I'm like, that's good for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Live from New York, a power-packed edition of First Things First Overtime today. What's next for Maxx Crosby? Is he going to be on the Raiders? Is there a chance we might see him with a star on his helmet? I always like when Jerry Jones says that in the draft. Hey, want to put a star on your helmet? But heck yeah, but I'm a 48-year-old sports host, you know.
yeah, they're not offering.
Meanwhile, does Bam deserve more credit for his 83 points? Greg wanted him to score 90.
How about a little credit?
He's getting plenty of credit.
Is he? Greg, is he?
LeBron, Giannis, KD.
Well, because they know how it is to score and how hard it is to accomplish
the analytics guys.
But you know, us sitting at this desk, we are like,
Ime was like, whatever. Ime was the best.
I thought Ime insulted the Wizards.
I
thought he was like,
he did Wizards and refs.
Free throw attempts.
He wasn't mad at Bam
I don't think he was killing
How
Bam.
you get the record matters.
And finally,
it's not a record.
He doesn't have
It's the modern scoring
It's not the record.
It's the modern record.
No, you will not find it in any record book.
It's the modern scoring record.
And finally, are the Ravens actually in a better spot now that they have show favorite Trey Hendrickson, who stamped his ticket to many future segments on this show. I can't wait. Oh, I'm going to get you a Trey Hendrickson jersey.
Bru's out here celebrating consolation prizes.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, it's a good one.
Sorry, Kevin Wildes, Greg Jennings, who's very pro Bam's 83. Very pro Bam. Yeah, and Danny Parkins, who was
Disgusting.
tried to meet in the middle there.
I tried.
You're like, we're all saying it's
I don't
impressive.
think it was in
No,
the
you
middle.
did not try.
Yeah, he
It was
You are
impressive.
far
Definitely
left.
impressive.
And the end of it tarnishes it.
Little funky. Greg, will you give little funky?
He scored 83.
Come on!
Cowboys traded Micah, passed on Maxx Crosby. They signed Rashawn Gary, said, all right, we're good there. But hold on, Max seems to be available again. He's on the Raiders. Diana Rossini reporting that the Cowboys are not expected to re-engage, Brou. Should they?
Well, look, all three of you guys, and you might be right. I don't like speaking on something matter-of-factly when I'm not sure. You might be right that this was dirty pool by the Ravens. Or maybe it was legitimate. Maybe they really looked at those scans and said, I don't like the way that looks. Let's offer them a lesser package. And they offered that to the Raiders, and the Raiders said, no way. And the Ravens were like, we can't give you 2 firsts. And the reason I say that is because Dr. Daniel Cooper, who happens to be the Cowboys team doctor, who happens to be the knee surgeon who operated on Patrick Mahomes and Malik Neighbors, also saw the scans. The Cowboys were very interested in Maxx Crosby. But then Dr. Cooper saw the scans, and now the reports are that the Cowboys have no interest. Maxx Crosby's available. Cowboys don't want him. Jerry was saying we're going to spend all this money, but now they don't want him. I'm just putting it out there that it's a possibility that the Ravens just said, nah, it looks worse than we thought. And the fact that the Cowboys right now aren't showing interest kind of backs that up. And so if you think that, look, if they can get Maxx Crosby for a lesser deal than the Ravens offered, then I think they should go ahead and do it. But I didn't see the scans. Not that I know what to do with them. If I saw it had to be very blatant.
We can get you the
broken
scan.
kneecap for me to, even that, I might not.
I don't know. That could heal that up.
The cartilage looks a little thin to Dr. Brou over there. I mean, like, is it a mistake? Yes, we do not know what the scans look like, and we do not know what the Raiders are asking. So we are, by definition here, we are operating with limited information. I tend to believe, because we're talking hypotheticals here, I tend to believe that when you trade for someone who is coming off of knee surgery, it is very convenient to then be able to be like, I don't really like how he looks today. There's not a football game to be played today.
It's not like they looked at his gait and said, I don't like the way he's moving on those crutches. They looked at the scans.
The surgeon said he is correctly progressing where he would expect it to be. The surgeon who actually did the procedure.
That's what all surgeons say.
You just quoted
I've
the doctor.
seen all these, well, he wasn't a surgeon on that surgery. Every time a player has surgery, what happens?
It's a successful surgery.
Not even successful, sometimes even more successful.
It's a
No one's
shot.
ever like, guys, you're not going to believe this, but nobody's
Right.
perfect. I bombed this one.
Didn't go well.
No.
He's in trouble.
But so, like,
It's a rough one. Off my game.
That'd be unbelievable. We don't know right now because we don't know what the price is and we don't truly know. But I am going to operate under my assumption that, which is supported by a lot of at least reporting, we can say. A lot of the reporting is the league believes, people in the league believe, Ravens got cold feet. They got cold feet. And they saw that they could get Hendrickson, and they said, difference between Hendrickson and Crosby can be made up for with the 14th pick and next year's first, so we're going to walk it back. So if I'm operating under that premise, that they are using the medicals as cover, and Crosby is and will be fine, then of course Dallas should be interested, and New England should be interested, and Chicago should be interested.
But not at 2 first.
But I am consistent on this. I thought a 29-year-old who is not a quarterback was not worth 2 firsts based on league precedent. I said that before any of this came out. I said this to you on Monday when you were celebrating Crosby being a Raven. So this will drive down the price, which should drive up the interest because you can acquire a player of Maxx Crosby's talent for less than the Ravens, who, in my opinion, overpaid for him originally.
I'm going to say it's a mistake for Dallas.
Really?
Yes. The only way I would say it's not a mistake, and this may not be too far-fetched, if Jerry, this is a part of his whole plan.
Oh, stop. He has a plan now?
I mean, you know what? Hey, Doc, go over there and see if you can consult with this, and then just put it out there.
So now he's acting like his hands weren't good.
I mean, I'm just
Where's the tinfoil hat?
But for me, like, this is a mistake for the Dallas Cowboys to say that they're not going to re-engage.
Oh, okay.
Like, you clearly are trying to improve your pass rush because you're trying to improve your defense.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary, not enough.
That's not enough. You know this. Why do we know this? Because you were one of the teams that were, hey, we can give you a first round and a potential second round, and there was interest. Yeah. Now all of a sudden you have no interest. I don't believe that there is absolutely no interest there. And I don't believe that they're going to just completely disengage. And so it is a mistake for the Dallas Cowboys, who are in need of a pass rusher, knowing that the price tag is going to come down. And if he continues to wait, maybe it comes down to the point to where they can engage. Now, I do believe that one of the reasons why they're saying, you know what, we'll probably disengage for now is because they don't have a lot of wiggle room this year. Like, they have 2 first-round draft picks, yes. They don't pick again until the 4th round. And then that's when all the remaining 8 of their draft picks, they have 6 after the 4th round and then 2 in the 1st round. They need those 2 picks. So if they can push it to a future, as we mentioned earlier, like if they can push it to a future 2027 first round and move it out, then they better engage, because this is a prime position that they are in need of. You got rid of Micah Parsons.
Oh yeah, there was that.
Can you imagine Crosby, Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, and Quinnen Williams? That's a nice front. That's a nice front.
So they should definitely do it.
I think they should be engaged at a lower price. Yeah, get it down.
At a lower price, yeah, but
it's going to be a lower price.
You've got 2 for it's a lower price for everybody.
Yeah,
there's no question he's available for a lower. Right. So they have 12 and 20. Could you get him for just the 20th pick? Like the 20th pick from the Ravens were about
maybe a future.
I don't know,
3rd or something.
And then the Raiders are picking at 1 and 20
instead of 1 and 14.
Yes, that's yes.
Listen,
and then maybe a later pick, add some
a future mid-round pick or something. Listen, again, we are dealing with a lack of complete information here. But if I am assuming that Maxx Crosby is going to recover from this surgery, most do. And if he does, he should still have a couple of years of productivity left. And so if those 2 ifs we all agree on, there's going to be a market for Maxx Crosby before this season starts.
Well, here's a final thing. We always talk about this when you're stuck in a quagmire of decision making.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe it's an art of war thing.
Sun Tzu.
What does your opponent not want you to do? So if it came across Howie Roseman's phone, the Dallas Cowboys have just traded a first-round pick and a future 4th for Maxx Crosby, I'm Howie Roseman thinking, oh, no.
Right.
I'm Jalen Hurts. Oh, my goodness. So I would do it. Jerry keeps talking about breaking the bank and making moves. This is an opportunity to do it. All right, we're going to move on to your Ravens. The deal for Trey Brou is 4 years, $112 million. They get their picks back, too. You know what? I'm going to ask Greg this, okay? How should Ravens fans feel about how this deal went down? Brou says, you know what? It's dirty pool, but no rules were broken.
I didn't.
Putting words in your mouth.
Can it be dirty pool if no rules are broken?
Well,
that's a good question.
Once it broke, that the deal didn't go through, Ravens fans, I can only imagine, were like, what?
Yeah.
What? And then the only way you can kind of appease that, satisfy the palate, if you will, is to find out a little later, but we got Trey Hendrickson, and we got our draft picks back. So naturally, there's a level of disappointment because Maxx Crosby, you alluded to this earlier, he's a 3-down guy. Like, the upside is probably greater with Maxx Crosby, barring he comes back healthy and he is that guy that we've always known him to be. Trey Hendrickson, he's not a slouch by any measure. It hurts your divisional opponent. So you take away from a Joe Burrow team that has caused you issues.
But he
at
was
least
gonna
been
go.
competitive.
He was
gonna,
gonna
yeah.
out of there anyway.
But maybe he's got.
But now
familiarity.
you have him. Now he's highly motivated. We can settle for that. As a fan, as a Ravens fan, yeah, you're like, okay, I can do that. We got our picks back, and we got that, and we didn't have to pay as much money. Yeah, we're good now.
Were you asking how should they feel about the way it
You
happened?
don't like sports karma. That's why I was trying to kick it around to somebody else. When I mentioned sports karma to you, bad vibe. It's just like Danny said.
I'll say it's dirty pool. Occam's razor, simplest explanation, most likely the correct one. They got cold feet, and they knew that they could get Trey Hendrickson. Here's what I'll do. Again, I asked these guys this earlier in the show. I'll ask you, just best guess. We understand that you don't know the answer to it. Best guess. If Trey Hendrickson had signed with Dallas or New England or one of the teams Tampa, one of the teams that was reportedly interested in Trey Hendrickson.
They keep Max.
Of course they keep Max.
They don't have any other word. They don't have another option.
Of course. Well, then it's dirty pool. If the reason they were comfortable flunking him on the medical, and yes, this hurts them in their leverage negotiation with Hendrickson. They maybe have to pay him a little bit of extra money to be sure that they lock him up. But because they knew they could get Hendrickson, it makes it easier to flunk Crosby on the medicals and say, we will make up the difference between Hendrickson and Crosby with the draft capital.
That's fine. I'm just saying a Ravens fan is going to be like, even if you wanted Max, we're good. You know, they're not worried about the way it went down.
They are operating in self-interest, which a lot of people would understand and would do.
That's what you need to do. You want to run the AFC like the New England Patriots? You got to live on the edge.
Yeah.
Y'all lived on the
You got to
edge.
step over it a few times. I have great news for you. I know you've been thinking about statistics and courses and math, and you're like, one thing I don't want to hear about is analytics. Boring and not cool. Well, we recognize the flaw in a segment about analytics, and instead of showing you uncool stuff, we decided to show you cool stuff. So it's time now for Pack Stats, aka stats are actually cool.
They're the coolest. And sometimes analytics gets a bad rap. I don't even need to do
Often.
I don't even need to do the fanciest of analytics. I just let the numbers do the talking. Because you know what else is cool, Brou?
Nothing had started off cool. I always think that.
What's cool?
Thanks for asking. Leave me hanging here.
What? Tell me what.
You know what's cool?
Yeah, tell
Settling.
me.
Settling.
It's like settling down.
It's the coolest. You can't blame the Colts for settling. They had no choice in the
Settling?
matter. Yeah. You think they're pumped to give this much money to Daniel Jones?
They love Daniel Jones, man.
Like, through 13 weeks, they were cooking with Daniel Jones. But is 13 weeks the largest sample in the world? It isn't. Do I think the plan was, let's trade 2 firsts for Sauce Gardner and then have him rupture his Achilles, and then, oh my God, we have to transition tag Daniel Jones and then negotiate a contract off that and give Alec Pierce nearly $30 million a year? They did it because they had to. This is the reason, though, that they could justify it. They're banking on 13 games being the real deal with Daniel Jones, your guy.
Yeah, he's my guy for a reason. Like, they unlocked what couldn't be unlocked in New York. And they were the beneficiary of great quarterback play. So you don't settle for something that you believe in. Like, he's coming off an injury. They didn't have to give him this deal.
Well, I mean, they had to tag him.
Well, they had to tag him, yes. You want to but you don't have to give him the deal. Like, you gave him this deal because we believe that when you do get back, we're going to get that version, and we're going to finish the business that we started out to finish.
Didn't he start coming back to earth
Here we
later
go
in
with
those?
It was what came back to earth was more of everyone's take. they can't keep doing this. They can't keep playing this way.
Well,
they can't keep being this great as an offense. They're operating like the New England Patriots when it was.
They were historic. They were on a historic pace.
Yes.
They came back to earth, but they were still in the upper atmosphere of earth.
Yeah, but the reason that number was so high was because of what they had done earlier in the season.
I just think they are stuck. Daniel Jones was very impressive, but do you believe that's the Daniel Jones we're going to see for the rest of his Colts tenure?
I do believe that Daniel Jones is going to be that. Now, do I believe that their offense will look as great? I don't know, because I'm not as sold on Alec Pierce as a true number one. I believe he has potential. We don't know what that looks like. They paid him to be that. I know what Daniel Jones is, despite what you guys may believe.
I'm on your squad.
I know what he is.
He's a true believer. Tell us anything else cool.
I got something else that's cool.
Excellent.
Although I'm not even sure I totally buy this one, I'll be honest with you.
Wow, tough one.
What? You know what else is cool?
Free throws.
How did you know?
I was just guessing.
Free throws. Very cool. Let's tell the story of Bam Adebayo through the lens
start a fight.
of the charity
really
stripe.
Is.
Percentage of points via the free throw. Highest in a 60-point game since at least 1983, but I can confidently say much longer than that. Our data machine, computer, doesn't go back that far. But now let's put it into context. He's like, Wilt, Bam, Kobe. 22% of Kobe's 81 came at the line. 28% of Wilt's 100 came at the line. 43% of Bam's 83 came at the line. Again, impressive. Happy for Bam.
Way to knock down your free throws, Bam.
Right.
It's not all
84%.
the most free throws attempted in the history of the sport, the most free throws made in the history of the sport. Come on now.
I don't think it's as impressive as Kobe's 81, and Wilt got 100, so you can't say it's as impressive as that. But getting fouled, and I admit some of them were real touch fouls, but getting fouled is a skill, and hitting free throws is most definitely a skill. And last night you had a 73% career foul shooter hit 36 of 43. Yep. So I give him some credit for that.
He made his free throws. The issue becomes, I made the David Robinson comp earlier.
Yeah.
Is that an all-time great scoring performance, or did the circumstances of Clippers pulling the starters, he's gunning for the scoring record at the beginning of the game, did it change how you felt about it? That's all I'm saying. The circumstances at which Bam got that number were off. They were such an anomaly, such an outlier to how normal basketball is played. And I think the free throw stat tells the tale.
I also believe that it's how we view that player. Like David Robinson, we've never looked at David Robinson as he's a scorer. Like David Robinson, he's gonna get you a bucket. No, I understand that, but we do not think of David Robinson as a flat out scorer. No, Kobe, yes. So for Kobe, Bam, we don't look at Bam as he's a flat out scorer. Can he play? Can he get buckets? Of course. Like can we stop knocking this, please?
All the criticisms due to how people feel about Kobe, which is cool. But it's all about Kobe.
That is cool.
It's all about
That
Kobe.
is cool.
Can I tell you guys one more thing that's cool?
Yes, please.
The long ball. Fear not about Team USA. Don't panic. We need a high-scoring game tonight. Only way Team USA is eliminated is if Mexico wins and scores 4 or fewer runs in 9 innings. Well, it's Mexico-Italy. These teams mash. They mash.
Okay, good.
Are we not in the top 4?
Isn't that surprising?
Wow, that is surprising.
So far in pool play, 2 of the 4 teams that have the highest OPS, on base plus slugging for the uninitiated, just need to put up, as long as this game is 5+ runs, it's fine. It's fine. So I would prefer that the manager of Team USA and his bench coaches and someone on the roster, I would prefer if one of you knew the rules. But given that is apparently not an option, just have Mexico and Italy be a high-scoring game tonight, and then you can go get them after you get out of pool play.
If it's not, I'm going to announce right now, I am throwing all of my support, and with respect to Jarren Duran, the great Red Sox, behind the Dominican Republic.
Well, that was my pick. You know that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I didn't need Team USA to be eliminated to pick the DR.
But it'd be one thing to lose to the
Darn it,
DR.
bro, you're right. I forgot. I'm back on Team.
I'll let you.
I'm back on Team Mexico.
You can come on.
Mexico.
My son.
Well, I got
you can come over to my lane.
But what if
DR's
Mexico wins in a low-scoring
Don't
game?
panic.
If we're out, I got to go somewhere.
But then you'd be rooting for the team that eliminated them. The only
We
way
eliminated ourselves, dude. We eliminated ourselves.
How big
That's
of
the
a
lesson
if
from
we
Mighty
don't
Ducks
if we
too.
don't advance, how
You did
big
it
of
to
a loss?
yourself.
You did it to yourself.
think it's-
How big is this?
I mean, I think it's pretty big. We've been on a roll between hockey.
We've only won one of the 5.
And this
this
is we sent our squad here.
Back in on the OT, Willie Colon, Greg Jennings, myself hanging out. So you know the news. Maxx Crosby is back with the Raiders, the Ravens. Hell of a consolation prize. Pivoting to Trey Hendrickson. And we actually have a small update on the story because Eric DaCosta, the man who executed the original trade and the signing, GM of the Ravens, spoke. He said, I understand how people from afar might feel like we got cold feet, but nobody is more upset about this than me. Gutted by it, actually. Regret, big regret for me. But we will move on. It's challenging. It's devastating for me to have this conversation, and probably hardest for Max more than anybody else. But I've got a responsibility to the Ravens, this community, to our fans, and to Steve Bisciotti to do what's best for the club. End quote. I mean, listen, guys, he was so gutted by it.
Gutted.
That he turned around and signed Trey Hendrickson immediately. Willie, obviously your reaction, but also chances the Ravens regret how this all went down.
I think they will regret it. I don't understand it. I mean, you paid a premium for a 31-year-old pass rusher who's limited to 7 games, who just got off the surgery table with core surgery. Right?
Yeah, now you're talking about the injured pass rusher in Trey Hendrickson.
Right, Trey Hendrickson. So for me, I'm trying to understand what was the play, and I think part of it is because when he looked at this roster, he goes, I lose Likely. I lost Lindenbaum, who they thought they was going to get a hometown discount for. You lose other pieces on this roster, and you look at, I lost 2 first-rounders in the process. This team can't win right now when I'm in prime Lamar Jackson mode. So this was all about him having cold feet. Like, sometimes you just got to call a spade a spade. I think he choked last minute, and he realized, like, man, I got to salvage it somehow by getting Trey Hendricks. And it looks messy, it looks ugly, and it's confusing.
I'm with Willie on this one. Look, him saying that he's gutted by it. Look, you gotta say whatever you need to say. But to say that you're gutted by it, how can you be gutted by something that you end up filling the void and retaining what you really didn't want to give up in the first place? No one ever wants to depart with draft picks and draft capital. And so for me, like, I think it's terrible that Max has to deal with this, but the Ravens got the better end of the deal. At the end of the day, they are going to come out feeling really good because they didn't have to pay premium for Maxx Crosby. They didn't have to give up draft capital. And you talk about what they needed and the home discounts that they thought that they would get. Every team believes that the guys who left, Linderbaum, Likely, they believe that every guy that they draft, they might consider giving us a discount. So we will have a shot to negotiate. We will have a shot to sit down and go back and forth. Didn't happen. And so now you have to backpedal because I got to provide Lamar with something. We lost our center. We lose a key player on our offense. We didn't get great production from our receiving core last year, pass catchers in general. You can't give up so much. And then, again, Matt Adebayo is a big question mark that if he comes back, but he's not the same player or he can't truly perform because he's coming off of injury as well, like, you just want to have those draft picks. You talk about the core muscle injury. That's minor. Like, I had that same injury. Trey Hendrickson is going to be fine.
Yeah, but so to your point.
And Maxx, I believe Maxx is going to be fine too.
Right, but I also think you just picked up somebody that was 31. Maxx Crosby is 29 years old, right? And we're talking about 2 injuries that we both believe they can overcome. Maxx Crosby played over 6,000 snaps in his career. He's a dog. He can fight through pain, right? So my point is, if you're Eric DeCosta, what did you really get out of this swap? If both, in my eyes, you chose the older rather than the younger.
I mean, the argument is, and this is coming from somebody who, when the trade happened, before any of this nonsense came out, I thought that it was an overpay because of Crosby's age. But the argument is Crosby better than Hendrickson, but you can make up the difference with the 14th pick in the draft. Not even mentioning next year's
And I
first.
get that, and that makes sense.
The last time the Ravens had the 14th pick, they drafted Kyle.
But that goes to my point. This wasn't an injury issue. This was This was you realizing that you don't have a number 1 receiver. You can't feel like you can win in the league in this conference with Zay Flowers alone. You lost Isaiah Likely. Like, your interior line is depleted. Like, you just brought on John Simpson at left guard. You don't have a center. So there's holes on this team that you realize, like, man, those 2 picks are more valuable than what we thought. So if that's the case, say that, right?
Because you can't say it.
No, you cannot say it. You can't.
You can't. I mean, once you agree to the trade, you can't say that even if it's true.
So who out here, seriously, who believes it was because of the medical?
Listen, I don't.
So what are we saying? Well, listen, if we don't believe it, so we're not supposed to say what we really believe?
Well, no,
we can say it.
3 of us can say it. Eric DeCosta can't say it. The three of us can say it. And because, like, listen, I said it earlier, I said it all day. Occam's razor. Simplest explanation is probably the correct one. They realized they could win the Trey Hendrickson sweepstakes. They used the medicals and the deadline of the trade coming out to pivot out and say, we can draft plus Hendrickson and fill the holes there. I'm going to now just play total devil's advocate. If Maxx Crosby has knee issues and doesn't have any more productivity going forward, then the Ravens, this can be a tough 24-hour news cycle for them where they can age well. I mean, the Bears, I remember, they signed Larry Ogunjobi to a contract. And then they said he flunked his physical, and it was going to be his only huge multi-year payday with a guarantee. Flunked him on his physical, and he's only really signed 1-year deals, small deals since, and hasn't been a super productive player. So it does happen where you get a guy in there. The issue with this to me is purely the optics. You know he's not healthy right now. He was on crutches last week. And
you knew he had surgery January 7th.
And I said it to Greg earlier, if Hendrickson was a Patriot, I believe Crosby would be a Raven. You can back out of the Crosby trade because you have Hendrickson there.
Sure.
That's the reason. If Hendrickson wasn't there and it was man,
you eat it.
You back your investment. All hands on deck. Let's ensure that he's going to be physically ready and better like he was.
And so I understand why Eric DeCosta would not like us connecting those dots, but sorry, buddy, it's inevitable.
It feels like a panic. I just don't understand. You chose an older pass rusher for a guy who's more of a blue chip culture changer. I think of Trey Hendrickson as a merchant, a paid assassin. When you think about Maxx Crosby and how he's perceived as a culture guy, a guy who rallies other men, a guy who's a closer in the fourth quarter, a guy who, when you need a play to be had, he's the guy you tug on his shoulder pads and say, hey, man, we need one. He's that guy. And he's younger. So and you paid premium for him. So I'm just like, dog, make it make sense.
Yeah, he backed out. Let's talk about the other angle here, and there's plenty of them. But according to reports, several teams have called the Raiders after this all fell apart, and it was all right, what's the price now? What are you guys going to do with Crosby? So it might go down, it might not. Obviously, the next team will have to do a physical on Crosby. I have my theories on how this is going to go, so I will go last. I don't want to tamper with the jury here. Willie, where do you want to see Crosby week 1?
I want to see him be a Philadelphia Eagle.
Wow, okay.
The Philadelphia Eagles need a closer at the position. They need somebody who can flat out go get the quarterback. If you're Howie Roseman, you got 9 draft picks. You got A.J. Brown. The Raiders need a receiver. You have a young quarterback coming in the building. I mean, it just feels like if I'm Maxx Crosby and I want to go to a contender, which I think the Eagles are, especially in their division, especially with the pieces they have been able to acquire and continue to make, if I'm Maxx Crosby, I'm saying, hey, man, if I had to choose, if I get asked, Send me to Philly, man. I know there's a defense between Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. You talk about Braun. You talk about Cooper Eugene and Quentin Mitchell. Like, there's pieces there we can go to battle with a very good DC and Vic Fangio. So I would love for him to land with the Eagles.
So wait, are you? I just want to make this clear. Are you saying AJ would be a part of that deal?
Yeah, 100%.
So no more AJ. We get Maxx. And we kind of swap, and
we go swap however you work, whatever you want to do.
So Trey, you're bringing Crosby to the Eagles. Where do you think he plays Week 1?
Week 1, I do believe he's going to still be a Raider. I believe the Cowboys need to go and get him.
Didn't Jerry said he's not doing it?
Yeah, they said that. Yeah, he says a lot.
The reporting today is Dallas is not interested, but again, we don't know. Like, the reporting also is that the Raiders aren't budging off their price, which is multiple firsts.
Correct.
All I'll say is, how many months is it between March 11th and September 10th?
We got time.
We got a lot of time. We got a lot of time.
They're going to move. They're going to move.
And so that is why I can't see him ever playing for the Raiders again. And I know you're saying he wouldn't, if he was so mad at them, he wouldn't be in the facility unless his agent said, hey, you got to go make it look like, that all is well in order to get there. Like, we'll see. Like, if he is in the facility every day this offseason and training them, and he shows up at the OTAs and the mini camps and training camp, I'll be like, oh, wow, I guess this maybe is possible. My gut tells me is that this is damage control right now, and the draft will come and go, and he will be cleared for football activities, and there will be a post on social media from Maxx Crosby of him doing the 3-cone drill and maybe a leg press and, whatever you guys do.
Athletes.
I don't know. And all of a sudden people will go, oh, now the price is a future first-round pick?
Yeah.
Instead of the 14th pick in the draft or the 25th pick for the Bears or the 31st pick for the Patriots? Like, the Raiders want to get assets that they can align with Mendoza's timeline.
Right.
So
but that's why
I think they are going to drop the price significantly on Crosby between now and opening day. I don't see how you unring this bell if you're the Raiders.
Yeah, I believe that they will drop the price, and this is why the reports of Dallas saying we're not going to engage any longer. That's today, okay?
That's today.
But moving forward, you are going to you were interested. You don't all of a sudden become uninterested. I understand that you acquired Rashawn Gary. You still don't feel like you're solidified as a pass rushing unit on your defensive line. Why? Because you gave up Micah Parsons. And you gave up one of the, if not the best, one of the best. He's coming up in everybody's conversation as one of the best, either 1, 2, or 3. So you're trying to fill that void.
And remember, Caleb Williams today retweeted, yesterday's price is not today's price. Bears.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Judge.
Come adesso! Il K di Greg Weissert! L'Italia fa la storia! L'Italia batte gli Stati Uniti al World Baseball Classic!
The foreign language calls, not as enjoyable when they're against your team. Hanging out on the OT, a little Team USA talk. So Judge goes down swinging, 8-6 win, and now USA, Willie, eliminated if Mexico wins and scores 4 or fewer runs in a 9-inning game. You surprised they got upset last night? Surprised they're in this spot?
Not really. I mean, Mark DeRosa, the manager of USA, came out and said, my boys are dragging. That's because they were partying after the win over Mexico. And on top of that, he thought, and he spoke, he mistakenly spoke early on TV, said, we're in, right? Until he had to backtrack and say, oh, we're not in, but if we win this one, we'll be in. Nevertheless, this thing was all over the place. Italy jumped out early on them, put the bats to them, and it got ugly fast. So it is what it is. Judge had a chance. He couldn't get it done.
Listen,
awful.
I don't ask a lot.
I get it. But this is why
I'd like you to know the rules.
But this is why America isn't interested. All right? Like when you have those flubs, whatever you want to call them, this is why they laugh at this whole situation.
It's a terrible look.
It's bad.
I think they're going to advance. I think they're going to be fine. I think the Mexico-Italy game will be.
They just need Italy to win.
Scoring.
You thought they was going to beat Italy too.
I know, but now it's out of their hands.
Exactly.
But it's just.
There's too much firepower on Team USA to be in this predicament.
Could someone have known the rules?
Yes. No.
Is that too much to ask? Okay. I could have done 3 hours on this topic today. All right, Bam put up, a casual 83 last night. He hit his over.
Casual.
On the player prop. Second most ever to Will. And, I guess I've been lumped in as being a hater. I don't really think that's fair, personally.
Why are people calling you a hater?
All right, I'll tell you why.
Jump out there.
Let's
get to it.
Go.
No, please.
Am I good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Please.
43 points in the first half. Wildly impressive. 31 and a quarter. Impressive. Over 60 points through 3. Impressive. It was a great night for a great player who is a gold medalist and one of the best defensive players of his generation, who has a very impressive backstory of the things that he's overcome to get to this level.
Yep.
Idolized Kobe Bryant. We root for him. The whole thing, handled it well with class. I respect Bam Adebayo in his game and all of that. All I am saying is that when this hit the group chat, that Bam had over 40 at halftime, and I put it on the second screen, and I'm monitoring it as I'm watching Wemby against the Celtics on the first screen. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh my God, he's got over 60 through 3. And so now I'm focusing more on that game than the Wemby game. And then I put that on the main screen.
Uh-huh.
And so now I am locked in to the fourth quarter of that basketball game. It was not a basketball game late in the game. I have no problem with running up the score. I have no problem with his teammates trying to get him the record. But when you stop playing basketball and you are intentionally fouling, up 25 in the fourth.
Spoelstra kept him in the game.
Which, again, run up the score. This though, sometimes, like when Michael Strahan had the season that he had, it was an incredible season. But when he got the sack record, we're like, that's a little weird with how he got it against Favre. And
Favre took the dive.
And we remember how he got the record instead of the record. And that's all I'm saying about this. Like, how he actually got past Kobe's mark is not basketball.
But hold up. I remember when Russell Westbrook was chasing Oscar Robinson's season triple double record, right?
Yep.
I remember like his team literally every time the ball was up, they were boxing out, running away from the rim, and Russell would go up for the ball just to pad his stats. Like, this happens, right?
David Robinson for the scoring title. I referenced that one earlier. You could say Chan-Ho Park. He grooved one.
Yeah.
Cal Ripken Jr. in an all-star game. Like, I know it happens.
Yeah.
But
it takes some ushering to get this, though. Across the board. Like,
Can I ask you this question? Did you stop watching or did you stay engaged?
Oh, no, I was laughing. I was laughing during
You stayed engaged?
Of course I did.
Why did you stay engaged? Because you were...
It was compelling.
Why was it compelling?
Because the player scored 83 points.
Exactly.
Dude,
that's all. And you know what? We became Heat fans.
No, we didn't. Hell
yeah, we did. For that moment,
No.
we were rooting for Heat. We were rooting for Bam.
Never.
We were rooting for the 83.
Love
we
you,
were
Jesus.
vested
Never.
in it. We didn't care about how it looked any longer. We just knew, man, Bam about to score 83. We turning our TVs to it. We wanted to tune in because we don't get to see things like this happen. And so instead of just picking and prodding at it, I chose to appreciate it. I understand. Bam doesn't get to the free throw line. He got to the free throw line 14 times in the first half. That's well over his average. But so he was already trending.
It's the most free throw attempts ever. It's the most free throw makes ever. When I Googled Bam Adebayo's name this morning, these were the news stories that came up. This is not selective editing. These were 3 of the top 5. We can show you the headlines. Just enjoy the moment. Stop complaining. Don't debate its merits. Chasing stats, of course he was, and that's just fine. Doth protest too much a little bit. We all know that was weird. That's all I'm saying. It was weird. It was weird,
but
that's all I'm saying.
We've seen it, so I'm okay with it. This isn't an outlier. Like we've seen.
It's by definition an outlier. He basically doubled up his career high, and he set a record for free throw.
You're knocking how people
all I'm saying, we all became a Heat.
Yes, I am.
We've seen teams.
Thanks, Gianna.
Like it is what it is.
It's a great jacket. Can I ask another question? I'm saying I don't remember how much time we have left. I have probably 60 seconds. Okay, great.
Yes.
That's very professional television.
Not really.
100's on the board. All I'm saying is LeBron, KD, Giannis, everyone came out and immediately celebrated this. And it was not basketball at the end. So there's like a third of the league is tanking, including Washington.
Yeah.
So why not just decide tonight, Luka's going for Will. and just every play. Why not?
So you're saying this opens the window?
Of course it does. That wasn't bad. Kobe took 20 free throws.
So
it was a 5-point game in the fourth quarter. It is different. All I'm saying is that.
But the Raptors were a bad team when they played.
Sure, and there's plenty of bad teams in the NBA. All I'm saying is, if what happened last night is going to be universally celebrated, not a little bit like, well, that was just, just a little weird. You're gonna see some weird things.
But
happen.
you don't go into the game saying, you know what, we're gonna go for 100 today. No, you get on a heater, and then it's like you get close, and then everybody becomes vested. It's like a pitcher about to throw a no-hitter.
You start intentionally fouling in a 25-point game?
I mean, whatever it takes, we want them to get it now. We're all vested. That's all I'm saying.
I'm a Knicks fan.
Just like you tuning in.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us on the OT. We literally could have just kept the cameras rolling during that commercial break. I think there may be some cursing, who knows. So there's the trade, now there's the Hendrickson signing, and it's a heck of a consolation prize. So Trey Hendrickson is with the Ravens. Crosby's back with the Raiders. Everyone's wondering what's going to happen next. But Eric DeCosta, GM of the Ravens, kept talking. We could put up the tweet here from Mike Garafolo. So DeCosta says they started the talks with Trey Hendrickson after they lost out on Tyler Linderbaum. Convenient. So the plan at one point was to have both Hendrickson and Crosby. Ultimately, the negotiations with Hendrickson ramped up to being finalized today. Greg, I'm guessing if we can get a one-shot here.
What?
Get it off your chest.
Get both of them. You weren't getting both of them. You were not going Max and Trey. I don't believe that for anything. Like, stop it.
You got to say something. I mean, obviously, the world is scratching your head with everything that's transpired. I will sit up here and say I have a problem with them paying, top dollar for 31-year-old pass rusher who's already showing signs of wear and tear. It just doesn't make sense to me. But they did it, and it is what it is.
How many physicals did you fail?
2.
It's easy to fail a player on a physical, right?
Yeah, because there's one metrics they don't pay attention to, and that's hard.
Well, okay, sure, I love that. But also, it's just a pretty convenient way to get out of a trade.
But people fail physicals across the board in the league.
All the time.
It happens.
All the time.
There's a guy that walks in, get knee, shoulder, he's fine. Yeah. And if they could be dangling it off his body, but they know the caliber of the ball play. They know the heart. They know the fight. They know he's going to rehab. He's going to show up. He's going to do everything he needs to do to be ready for Sunday. That's what teams sign up for.
So if they wanted to pass him, they would have passed him.
Oh my God!
They used it to get out of him because they got to get Trey Hendrickson.
Physical right now?
I'm not taking a physical.